We have with us here today Einstein, Joe Quinn, with the picks. So tell us, people are wanting to hear. You have a 11-fight win streak. Well, we have with us here today Einstein, Joe Quinn, with the picks. So tell us, people are wanting to hear. You have a 11-fight win streak.
That's
How have
right.
you been able to do that?
A lot of research, a lot of hard work and experience. I started off by making several picks on a card, looking to see when a line was off. I'd try to make the pick, but then I started changing my strategy to be more selective and find someone who I for sure is going to win. A close fight where the odds aren't too high off. And, I normally like to look for minus 200 and below. I don't like betting more than 2-1 favorites. Really research who's the better fighter. And I've never been afraid to pass on a card. If I don't see a guy who I really like, then I'll just say forget it, never force a pick.
So this win streak isn't just going through and picking out the favorite every time.
Well, a lot of it's been the favorite, but not more than a 2-1 favorite. Because if you start getting more than 2-1, if you miss, you've got to make up a lot of fights. If you pick a 4-1 favorite, he misses, now you've got to hit 4 fights in a row to make back that one unit.
So when you talk about researching the fighters, what kind of things are you looking at?
A lot. The talent they have is obviously a big thing. Their fighting style, their skill set, but that's only one aspect. Then you got to look at the psychology. That's a huge aspect of fighting, psychology, because they're in like a dog fight for their lives almost, trying to kill each other out there. So when you have one guy who is he's on the up and up in his career, maybe another guy's on the down, that's when you strike. And it's not every card, but when I do see that, a guy who thinks he could become champion and another guy who knows he won't, that's my big thing I look for.
So is that your primary strategy then?
One of them, but I've got more. I like to see who they train with, their training partners, their coach, the heart of the fighter. That's I don't want to give away everything I look for, but these are some of the things.
So tell us, continuing with our prior line of questioning, what's your experience with fighting? Have you been following and betting on it for a long time?
Yeah, I started watching when I was 14. My neighbors would buy the pay-per-views. I remember I could never stay awake for the main events. That was probably like 2003. The Chuck Liddell, we always called him Liddell, this is a joke, but Chuck Liddell, Rich Franklin, Matt Hughes, Tim Sylvia, that was like the era when I started watching. There was only a pay-per-view once every 3 months. Now we're spoiled, we get one every week. Dana White Contender Series on Tuesdays. We got multiple fights all week long, so it's great. So yeah, a lot of experience watching fights. That's why I think I can do such a good job of picking it, as I've seen how the sport's developed over its, since its inception almost. It definitely gives me an edge seeing, being around the sport for so long. And I've been betting on the fights for a long time. I started gambling with my parents' credit card back when online poker blew up. That was like 2006 or so, and then they also had sports books on there. So I had a lot of experience both with winning and losing. So that's why I feel really good about gambling now. This doesn't feel like gambling. I've done gambling, and this doesn't feel like it. I have an edge, and it's reflected with this 11-fight win streak and 15-2 record that I'm beating the lines right now. Definitely.
So for a young gambler, maybe like your former self, would you have any advice for someone getting started?
For specifically UFC picking, or if you're ever picking money lines, not the spread, is to stay away from big spreads, unless you're going with the underdog. But as I said earlier, if you pick a minus 400 guy and he loses, the risk reward there is it's not there. Find a close fight and see who would have an edge, and I see who has an edge in as far as where they are in their career. That's a big thing for me. If a guy's old, over the hill a little bit, the guy's an up and coming, that's what I strike.
So, is there a favorite fight or pick that you can think of?
Probably my last pick of Marlon Vera over Frankie Edgar, because Frankie Edgar's status in the MMA community, everyone was on Edgar, betting with their hearts. And that was my biggest play of the year, Marlon Vera over Frankie Edgar. And when he knocked him out in spectacular fashion after being given away the first round, I was quite excited. I almost lost my vocal cords over the weekend screaming about it.
So, Einstein, please give us a hot tip. What's a prediction coming up?
So yeah, my next upcoming predictions for the November 20th card. It's for sale for $25. If you email me at betwitheinstein@gmail.com, I'll get you that prediction. I've got 6 units on the bet. I'm very confident. Fits all of my parts of my algorithm that I look for. So shoot me an email and I'll get you over that pick.
What's your email address again?
betwitheinstein@gmail.com.
So we can rely on your expertise and experience and make our picks based on your expertise.
Correct. Send me an email, get the pick, $25, put some money on it. You're out with your friends. Tell them, hey, I've got this pick. Don't tell them you got it from me. Just tell them that you're the brilliant guy who came up with it. Show off when you cash that ticket in.
The email one more time.
betwitheinstein@gmail.com.
Thank you, Einstein.
Yep, thank you.